Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Graduate Career Launchpad, an interview series for students and grads looking for the best start to their career. My name's Simon Gibson. I am the Graduate Recruitment Director at Prospel, and I'm joined and excited to introduce you to Tiffany, a recent grad who started their career with EY in New Zealand. With New Zealand's economy projected to grow in 2025, it seems that grads are entering a thriving economic environment, which is great. So let's explore how Tiffany landed her role, what life's like on the inside, and what advice she might have for future grads. Tiffany, thanks very much for joining us today and appreciate your time. And yeah, really keen to understand what your journey's been like going from student into professional and what tips and tricks you might have for some of those budding and aspiring grads out there at the moment.
Sure, yeah. Thank you so much for having me. So, hi everyone. My name is Tiffany. I am currently a tax consultant with the Global Mobility team at EY in the Auckland office. So, I studied at the University of Auckland. I did a Bachelor of Commerce and a Diploma in Languages. I majored in accounting and commercial law, and I think that kind of built quite a good foundation for me to be able to tap into any industry. During my uni days, I did apply for an internship in the audit team at EY. Tried it, wasn't really my thing, so I decided to venture out, kind of see what else was out there, and then stumbled across global mobility. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So great little intro around your sort of study and career path. Did you consider when you're looking at your intern roles or grad roles, were you considering other companies before going to EY or before joining EY?
I did, of course, I think browse around the Big Four, but during my uni days, I had the most interactions with EY. And so I met lots of people who started their careers at EY, and it was the company that I had the most interaction with. So I naturally wanted to join. I did consider the other companies, but because I didn't really have much of a relationship with them, I ended up just kind of going for EY. Yeah.
Yeah. So was there a particular standout moment during that sort of journey before joining?
I think it was talking to the recruiters and some of the people who just started their grad roles. I think their experience and what they told me about EY's culture, and everyone was very friendly, very inviting. I think it was that kind of warmth that I was looking for in a corporate environment. So that kind of pushed me to also go for EY.
Okay, fantastic. So you're able to meet people on campus, meet people who are actually doing the job, recent grads, but also some more experienced high staff as well. Like get a really good feel of what it was like to work at EY and sort of get there for the future. Excellent. Um, Now, Tiffany, I was speaking to one of the great recruiters earlier, and talking about application numbers, and obviously it's quite competitive. Um, do you have any tips for acing the interview process?
I think definitely research the company well. See what their core values are, how they align with your own. Some companies might also do, I guess, different events, like maybe they support certain charities. So I would say look into that too. Be really clear on your why. So, why the company, why you want to join the team. I think that shows that you've done that initial research and you're kind of matching your values and what you want in a company with the company that you're applying for.
Okay. Like with your own individual preparation, anything, and obviously you're sort of researching that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. Anything else you would do from a preparation point of view? And once you're actually in the interview process, were you sort of surprised by any questions, or was there anything you perhaps weren't expecting, or was a little bit left field?
I think for practicing for the interviews, so usually with a lot of recruitment processes, one of the things you do is a video interview where you essentially just talk to yourself. To practice for that, I actually ended up vlogging, um, so that I could see myself talk and get used to kind of talking to somebody without another person on the other end of the screen. So I found that that really helped with my flow, with kind of getting the words out when I was doing that video interview. Um, Another thing I would say is to kind of practice. I also practice in the mirror a lot to kind of get get it going, get the thoughts going. So I did quite a bit of that. Yeah.
That's really good advice. I think interviewing, it's sort of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. The sense of going okay, but I'm being, not it's a conversation with people I haven't met, but I love that practicing in the mirror, practicing the vlog, am I speaking too quickly, too slowly, hand gestures, all that kind of stuff, especially for those those ones that you're right, where you're not getting those cues back from somebody you're actually talking to in person. Uh,
Yeah.
was there anything you'd avoid doing if you could go back in time and do it again?
Uh, I think that so usually for video interviews, you get about 30 seconds to a minute to prep before the camera starts automatically recording. I think one thing I should have done was just stick to the points that I had written down because I ended up rambling, I think, in the last 30, 45 seconds of that video clip. So I think my advice to my past self was to just stick with the script, just say what you need to, and that's it.
So did you feel like as though you had to fill that full, what say you had a 2-minute response time, you had to fill that full 2 minutes, where you could have said, "Look, say my piece, be more succinct, and wrap it up at a minute and a half," or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I think that's probably a common misconception. They usually give you like a 2 to 3 minute window to talk about yourself or talk about why you want the role. And I thought I had to kind of ramble on for that 3 minutes, but there's actually a little stop button in the corner that you can just do like once you've said everything you wanted to say.
That's some really good advice, and as someone who's watched a lot of video interviews, I think, to the point and being clear and succinct is can be more powerful than, as say, just continually going on and sort of filling up all the time. Okay, excellent. So you've obviously been done really, really well to get through that highly competitive recruitment process. Let's fast forward into, what you're doing at the moment. What do you enjoy most about working at EY?
I really enjoy the team. I think the culture is a really big part because if you're going to spend, most of the week at a workplace, you wouldn't want it to be somewhere that you actually want to be at. So I think everyone here is really friendly and inviting. Flexible working is also something that I was quite surprised was very encouraged. Some people in my team they have young kids, or one of my managers in the past she wanted to participate in the Olympics, and so she had her trainings. Yeah, she had her trainings later on in the afternoon. So what she would do is she would shift her day a little bit earlier. So she'll start earlier, finish earlier. And I didn't know that, it was so flexible within the team. So I really like that aspect of it as well.
That's brilliant. And I say flexible working can mean different things to different people. So to be able to have that ability to manage your time, works obviously for your business, but also for you. That's perfect. Um, in your time at EY so far, are there any projects, achievements that have made you proud?
Oh, that is a really good question. Most of for my team, the nature of our projects are quite short term, so it's quite rare that we have a project that lasts for more than 2 months. But I was part of like one of some of those projects that lasted for 2 months, and I think something that I was really proud of was that I took initiative to kind of do the project planning, keep everyone on track, so that we would deliver and hit those deadlines that we promised with the client. And I think that for me, I really value time management and I like to prioritize my tasks. So those skills came in handy when I was doing that whole project management, project planning. I think a lot of the more senior members of our team was also quite impressed with that. Yeah, I think that was probably one of the moments I'm quite proud of.
Yeah, excellent. Well done. And look, on that, I guess on that theme of sort of building skills and building experiences, how's EY supported your personal growth or learning?
So at EY, you can do your chartered accounting program. So that's one of the kind of programs that they also support, like financially. There's also an internal tax program that we can do. And I think that has definitely broadened my understanding of the New Zealand tax system. The explanations are really clear and it does come in handy when you're doing a piece of work. Like I'll suddenly remember, oh my gosh, I did a topic on the subject. And so I think that this whole program definitely has built my skill set and built my knowledge quite a lot. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Um, Tiffany, you spoke a little bit earlier on around your sort of culture and values and things on those lines. How would you describe the work culture at EY?
I think it's very inclusive. There are people of all different backgrounds, speaks all different languages, and at EY, we also do celebrate different like festivals. Like we've done Lunar New Year, we've done Deepavali. So I think that it's bringing the firm together as a whole to make them more aware that these are like cultural events that other people have, and I think that it's been really cool to also be part of those.
Yeah, and from a professional sense, um, is there much collaboration across teams or across bigger systems, so you can say tax and audit and advisory and such? There.
Yeah, we definitely do have a lot of crossovers. So my team specializes in kind of employment taxes. So like your PAYE, your Kiwi Saver. And so we find that we collaborate with quite a lot of teams, especially when they have projects that are kind of focused on that, where they require a specialist knowledge in employment taxes. So I definitely have met a lot of my other colleagues who are in consulting or in other tax teams. So it's been really fun to be able to meet other people and collaborate together as well.
Do you find you get the opportunity to sort of educate other grads on the work that you're doing to help, build up their knowledge base?
Yeah, yeah. We have something called Sit with Your Peers Day every month, and so we kind of sit with everyone who's from our rank, and it's really cool because some people would have joined a bit later, and you get to meet them and kind of tell them, "Oh, I'm part of this team. This is what we do." So that's one of the initiatives that we have here that kind of get you to mingle with other people from your peer group.
Yeah, excellent. How many of you are roughly within your area, or say within tax in Auckland? Grads, I mean.
Grads, I would say maybe 20. Yeah, 50 to 20. Yeah, so it's a pretty good group, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome. Um, and Tiffany, one thing, within the other careers, and I say we, I'm talking about, industry and employers. We're talking about supporting and guidance, and helping people build their confidence to sort of
Yeah.
do what they do best. Um, do you feel with an EY that the mentorship and peer networks are strong? And if so, how do they operate?
So we have a buddy system. When you first start in the firm, you're assigned a buddy, and your buddy kind of shows you day to day, like how to do your timesheet, where the lunchroom is, where to get good coffee. So I think that that system is really good in a sense that your buddy is usually someone who is not too far in terms of ranking. So you're not scared to ask, I guess, silly questions. They're there to just guide you through all those day to day operations. You also get a counselor. So a counselor is kind of like a career coach. They support you through progression. They put you up for promotion. They kind of give also feedback. So I think it's these two are kind of the main support systems that we have here for new starters.
Yeah, you sort of hear a lot about students feeling imposter syndrome. So this, "Oh, I'm coming into a job and I'm wearing the corporate outfit, but I don't really know what to do."
Yeah.
Is that something you ever felt, or
Mm, I think I did, definitely, especially when it came to pieces of work where my senior would be like, "Oh, here, you can draft this up and then I'll review it." I was always questioning or like doubting what I wrote down. But really, I think the thing that we need to remember is, especially when you're in your first, second year into your career, the thing that we need to remember is the learning is more important than the actual result. I think a lot of people sometimes forget that, "Oh, you've just started. You don't know anything." Yeah, and I think that's something that I kept reminding myself, "Oh, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay for me to not know something straight away because this is my first time doing it," you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it probably speaks to what you were saying before about, the business not expected to know anything, but what they're looking for is initiative and a good attitude. And I think most managers would probably go, okay, if I'm giving you a piece of work, and if you're unsure what to do, if you come to me and say, look, this is what I've done, and this is what I think the next steps are, instead of just going, I don't know what to do, showing that you go, I'm going to have a crack at it. Tell me I'm on the right path or not. And I'll be like, yeah, you are, or no, you do good idea, good attempt. Have a think about this next time. That's probably, what do you say, valued a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I've definitely had a lot of conversations where I've kind of given it a go, but I got stuck. And so I've gone up to my manager or my senior to ask about it. And I don't think nobody will get, annoyed or blame you for not knowing something. I think they just want to see that you've made the effort to actually try to find out how to do it, or at least you've had a go and you're not just coming to them to get a direct.
What to do? Yes. Yeah. In your opinion, what's the most important thing we're looking for grad jobs or internships?
I think showing initiative and being keen to learn with a lot of grads and interns, even when I was applying for an internship, I thought that I had to have I had to know something, but really for grads and interns, I realized that most people don't really expect us to know anything. You just need to come with a good attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And what helped you decide that the EY was the best fit for that and the best fit for you?
I think it was the internship that helped me solidify my decision. I would say an internship's kind of like a try before you buy situation where you get to really be part of the firm. You get to see how it operates, who's in the firm, what kind of events they have. I think my internship was definitely quite pivotal in deciding that EY was where I wanted to start my career.
Yeah. Okay. And on that note of career, I'll put you on the spot here. If you had to prioritize, say looking at hypothetically looking at another job or another company, or progression within EY, would you prioritize culture, training, or career progression?
Oh, I think culture is still. I think culture is still my number one because if I'm spending 5 days a week here, I want to enjoy being here. I want to be excited when I wake up and go to work, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. Who you're working with, all that kind of stuff. Uh, Perfect. So, Tiffany, I'm sure a lot of people watching this will be interested to understand. We know a bit about your educational background and why you've chosen EY. Can you walk us through what a typical day is like in your role, please?
Yeah, sure. So I usually like to start my day at 8:30. So when I get in, I'll put my stuff down. I usually get a coffee from the same coffee shop. And so I feel that we've kind of built that relationship as well. After that, I would go through my emails. For me, I enjoy kind of prioritizing. I'll always come up with like top 3 things I'm gonna focus on today and try to get those 3 things done. I think that it keeps my inbox quite organized as well because we get like tons and tons of emails in every day. So that's always number 1 on my list. Um, every day is quite different because our portfolio of clients is slightly larger. So I find that I'm sometimes working on multiple clients every day. It keeps the job quite interesting though, so I really like that aspect of it, yeah. Every day is different, sometimes we'll have meetings, sometimes I have a day where I'm just focusing and, like, just doing work, so yeah, very diverse.
Okay, really cool. And do you get much direct client interaction?
Yes, we do, yeah. Most of our clients are overseas though, so we have a lot of these kind of, over Zoom,
It is.
during
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And you spoke about variety, spoke about your coffee order. I'm hoping that the people in the cafe know what your coffee order is, off by heart now. Um, yeah, as you sort of progress through the ranks citywide, do you see that changing, or do you see, how do you sort of foresee your job changing from what you're doing now?
I think at the moment, because I've just started, I'm in more of a doing role. But as you progress, I think it goes into more of a mentoring and reviewing, teaching kind of role. And you're also having more interactions with clients. Although I do still like speak to my clients, I would say that my managers, my senior managers, they do most of that relationship management. So I think that's how my career would end up progressing.
Okay, fantastic. And obviously, EY being a global organization, you seeing any overseas secondments or anything in sort of future? Is that something that you would like to look at doing one day?
Yeah, that is something that I definitely want to look into doing. I know a couple of people who have kind of gone overseas. One of my friends, she has gone to EY London. So there are definitely a lot of opportunities to move around the firm and also to overseas EY offices. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. And last couple ones from me. You mentioned before around going down the sort of chartered road. Is that something that you're undertaking, and how do you balance that with work?
So at the moment, I'm doing an internal like tax diploma, and I'm currently on the tail end of it. So I think in terms of I'm in terms of chartered accounting, I'm still not sure whether or not I will pursue it. But I think the good thing about my team is that they are supportive no matter what decision I choose. If I choose to do it, they fully support that. But there are also some members of our team who don't have their chartered accounting certificate. So it's more optional for me, I think, in this field. But if you were in a field, let's say if you were an audit, I think they place a higher importance on, becoming a chartered
Having
accountant.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay. The last one for me, Tiffany. For anyone watching, what's one piece of advice you've give to someone, say they're in their first year of university, maybe they've decided on their majors, maybe they haven't. What's one piece of advice you give them if they're starting to look at what might happen at the end of their degree?
I would say, honestly, enjoy your university life and don't rush it. And I think that it's okay to not know what you want to do. A lot of people, when they finish university, they're still unsure of what they want to do. And I think that rather than spending your 3, 4 years in uni worrying about, "Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do at the end of this degree?" I think it's important to just enjoy it, you know? you're only in uni once, really. Like you're not gonna get that time back. You're not gonna be 20 years old again, just kind of doing silly things at uni. So
Yeah.
I think that no matter kind of what you choose to do at the end of your uni life, it can change. Some people choose to study like nutrition, but they end up in like the audit field. So it's yeah, I don't think you have to have your mind made up
No.
during
No.
uni. Yeah.
Yeah. No, excellent advice. I would give the same advice. Just start seeing what's out there, do your research, and say do internships so you can find out what kind of work you enjoy doing, what perhaps you don't enjoy as much. And speak to loads of people. Get your network out there, find out what's going on, and the more information you have, the better sort of informed choices you can make. Um, so that's some really good advice.
Yeah, I think networking opportunities as well. During my time at uni, I know that the business school had a lot of kind of networking opportunities organized for us. I would say take on those because you never know who you'll meet. Someone you meet then might be the person who ends up offering you a job in the future. So take advantage of those events.
100%. Tiffany, were you like, did you use LinkedIn as part of your, I said job search strategy, but like, did you use LinkedIn while you're a student to actively look for opportunities or look for those networking opportunities?
I did, yeah. There were a few people on LinkedIn that I had reached out to for like a coffee chat to learn about what their role is like and what they do and what skills they use in their role. I think it gave me a good idea of what I should continue building on. LinkedIn is a very good platform, I will say, and you can look for job opportunities on there as well, which was really helpful to some of my friends too. Yeah.
Do you so like I speak to a lot of students and LinkedIn comes up as one of those, yes, I have a profile. No, I'm not very active because, I don't know what I should post. Should I post anything? Should I make comments on other people's posts? What are your, what are your thoughts on that? And as a student, like as a current student.
As a current student, I think when I was a student, at least, I tried to add a little bit of kind of an about me on my LinkedIn, just so that if anyone comes across your profile, they have an idea of, oh, this person studies at this university and they major in this. Their interests are in, swimming or doing dancing. And I would say an important thing on LinkedIn is also to kind of put your achievements or any volunteering or part-time work that you've been part of. Yeah, but
Would
oh yeah, you were gonna say?
No, no, you go. No, no, keep going.
Oh, I was gonna say, in terms of posting and commenting, I think the only times that I made a post was if I did like a case competition or if I went to a professional event. That's what I would make a post. But in terms of commenting, I definitely did that a lot more, especially on my friends' posts or when you react to like other industry posts and things like that. I think I did more commenting and reacting than I did posting.
The need of posting, yeah, and I think that's absolutely fair enough. That you're right. Student society events, university events, networking events where you've attended it and say, yeah, if an industry partner has been there, that's a great one to post and say, went to this. Amazing, great to hear the panel speakers. Thanks very much for your insights and your time, that kind of stuff. Or if someone else posted that, they make a comment that you were there and yeah, okay. No, no, just realize, keen to understand your thoughts there. I think it does come up a lot from students around, should I use it? And if so, how do I use it? And what's sort of appropriate and what's not. But I think there's some really good guidelines there. Excellent. Tiffany, thank you so much for giving us an authentic look into being a grad at EY. You really painted a picture of both the challenges and also the rewards as well. For those watching or listening, if you wish to follow in Tiffany's footsteps, remember to explore grad roles and internships at EY on their Possible Career site. Thanks everyone again for joining and hope you tune in for the next episode of Graduate Career Launchpad. Tiffany, lovely to meet you. Great to chat. And thanks so much for your insights today.
Thank you so much, everyone.